Right now, as you're listening to this, there's probably someone on your mind. Maybe it's your crush, an ex, or someone you can't seem to forget. And here's the wild part, you might be wondering, are they thinking about me right now too? Stick around, because today we're going to uncover the real psychology behind why someone consumes your thoughts, and whether that mysterious mental connection you feel is actually real or just your brain playing tricks on you. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, you're in the right place for deep dives into psychology, relationships, and the fascinating ways our minds work. Today's topic is something I know hits close to home for a lot of you. Why is someone always on my mind? Does it mean they're thinking about me too? This is one of the most common questions people ask, especially when you're crushing hard, going through a breakup, or missing someone you haven't talked to in a while. But here's the truth. Your thoughts don't work like Wi-Fi. Just because you're thinking about someone doesn't mean there's some cosmic signal traveling to their brain, making them think about you back. So what's really going on? Let's break it down, step by step. 1. What it actually feels like, the mental loop. First, let's talk about what this experience actually feels like. You're scrolling through Instagram, boom, their face pops into your head. You're listening to a song, suddenly you're remembering that time you listened to it together. You're trying to fall asleep, and there they are again, front and center in your mind. Sound familiar? This kind of automatic, intrusive thought pattern can feel almost magical, like there's some invisible thread connecting you two. But the reality is, these thoughts are happening inside your brain, not between two brains. Your mind is incredibly powerful at creating patterns, replaying memories, and attaching emotional meaning to people. And when someone matters to us, whether it's love, pain, curiosity, or longing, our brain prioritizes thoughts about them. But here's the kicker. This doesn't mean they're doing the same thing on their end. Let me explain why. 2. The science of emotional attachment. One of the biggest reasons someone stays on your mind is emotional attachment. When you form a deep bond with someone, romantic or otherwise, your brain literally changes. Neuroscientists have found that strong emotional connections create neural pathways, like highways in your brain, that make it easier for thoughts about that person to show up again and again. And if you're in love, oh man, it gets even more intense. There's actually a psychological term for this, limerence. Limerence is a state of intense infatuation where you experience obsessive thoughts about the person, an overwhelming need for reciprocation, fear of rejection, and emotional highs and lows based on their behavior. Basically, your brain is flooded with dopamine and norepinephrine, the same chemicals involved in addiction. That's why it can feel like you're addicted to someone. But here's the important part. Limerence is your brain's response. It's not a two-way street. Just because you're experiencing it doesn't mean the other person is. They might be living their life thinking about their grocery list while you're lying awake at 2 a.m. replaying every conversation you've ever had. Comment below, have you ever experienced limerence? What was it like for you? Number 3. The trap of overthinking and uncertainty. Now let's talk about another major reason people get stuck in mental loops, uncertainty. Here's how it works. Imagine you had a great conversation with someone, but now they haven't texted you back. Or maybe you broke up with someone, but the ending felt unfinished. Or perhaps you confessed your feelings and they gave you a vague, confusing response. When there's no closure, your brain goes into overdrive trying to figure things out. Psychologists call this rumination, and it's basically your mind's way of trying to solve a puzzle that doesn't have all the pieces. Your brain asks, what are they thinking? Did I say something wrong? Do they miss me? Are they thinking about me right now? And because you don't have clear answers, your brain just keeps asking the same questions over and over and over. This isn't just annoying, it can actually be harmful. Rumination is linked to anxiety, depression, and stress. It keeps you emotionally stuck in the past instead of moving forward. And here's the harsh reality. While you're obsessing over them, they might have already moved on. Drop a comment. Do you tend to overthink situations with people? Let's talk about it. Okay, now let's talk about how your brain can actually trick you into thinking there's a deeper connection than there really is. One of the biggest culprits, the spotlight effect. This is a cognitive bias where you overestimate how much other people are thinking about you. Basically, you assume you're more on someone's mind than you actually are. For example, you post something on social media and think, I wonder if they saw it. You walk past them and think, I bet they noticed me. You don't hear from them and think, they must be thinking about me but holding back. But the truth? Most people are way more focused on themselves than they are on you. That's not mean, it's just human nature. There's also something called confirmation bias, where you look for signs that support what you already believe. So if you want to believe someone is thinking about you, you'll notice every little thing. They liked your story, they're thinking about me. They didn't reply, they're thinking about me but playing it cool. See how your brain twists things? Here's the truth. Feelings are not facts. Just because something feels true doesn't mean it is true. Let me be real with you for a second. Your thoughts are your experience. They live inside your head. They're shaped by your emotions, memories, fears, and desires. But they are not proof of what someone else is thinking or feeling. You could think about someone every single day, and they might not think about you at all, or only occasionally. You could miss them deeply, and they might have completely moved on. You could feel like there's a connection, and they might just see you as a friend. This isn't meant to be discouraging, it's meant to be freeing. Because once you accept that you can't control or predict someone else's thoughts and feelings, you can stop torturing yourself trying to figure it out. You can start focusing on what you can control, your own life, your own growth, your own happiness. Comment below, has this ever happened to you? Someone was constantly on your mind, but when you finally talked to them, you realized they barely thought about you. All right, so now that we understand why this happens, let's talk about what you can actually do when someone is constantly on your mind and it's messing with your peace. Step 1. Acknowledge what's really going on. Ask yourself, is this love or is it limerence? Am I ruminating because of uncertainty or lack of closure? Am I overthinking because I'm anxious or bored? Sometimes just naming the feeling takes away its power. Step 2. Redirect your focus. Your brain can only focus on so many things at once. If someone is taking up 90% of your mental space, it's because you're not filling that space with other things. So fill it. Dive into a new hobby. Set a fitness goal. Learn a new skill. Reconnect with friends. Work on a passion project. The more you invest in your life, the less mental real estate someone else will occupy. Step 3. Talk it out. Bottling up your feelings only makes them stronger. Talk to a friend, a therapist, or even journal about it. Getting your thoughts out of your head and into the world helps you process them, and often you'll realize they're not as big or scary as they seemed. Step 4. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is about observing your thoughts without judgment. When a thought about that person pops up, don't fight it. Just notice it. Oh, there's that thought again. Then gently bring your attention back to the present moment, your breath, your body, what's happening right now. Over time, this weakens the mental loop. Step 5. Set boundaries with yourself. If you're constantly checking their social media, replaying old texts, or imagining scenarios, you're feeding the obsession. Set limits. Unfollow or mute them for a while. Delete old messages if they're keeping you stuck. Resist the urge to check if they viewed your story. It's hard at first, but it gets easier. Step 6. Accept that you might never know. This is the hardest one. accepting that you might never know if they think about you. And that's okay. You don't need their validation to move forward. You don't need to know their every thought to be whole. You are enough, with or without them thinking about you. Comment below which of these steps resonates most with you. Let me know. All right, let's wrap this up. Here's what we covered today. Just because someone is always on your mind does not mean they're thinking about you too. Checkmark, your thoughts are driven by emotional attachment, uncertainty, and cognitive biases, not telepathy. Checkmark, rumination and overthinking keep you stuck in a mental loop that isn't. Checkmark, you can't control what someone else thinks, but you can control how you respond to your own thoughts. Understanding the psychology behind this helps you take back your power, focus on yourself, and build healthier, more balanced relationships. Remember, you are not defined by whether someone thinks about you. You are defined by how you show up for yourself. If this video helped you, do me a favor.